And now the time has come. It's been too long, for that it's certain. So now, my friends and I, we will begin to cut interest rates. That's what my friend says right here, our boy JP. That is Jerome Powell. He declares the time has come. And now the time has come for some interest rate cuts. So that is what we have going for us. And as we talked about on Wednesday, we should have an all things rally today, and that's exactly what we had. So we've got that going for us, 3:15 or 3:13 p.m. here on August 23rd, 20 and the 24th. And yesterday the 22nd, very important day in my life. It was a celebration of happy anniversary, happy anniversary. Me and my lady friend have been married for, drum roll please, 26 years. So our little Saugatuck trip, that was our actual anniversary gift to each other. But we also spent the day yesterday palling around, having a great time, drove up to New Buffalo, Michigan, went to one of our favorite restaurants there, the Stray Dog. And what was interesting is we're sitting there having a good, grand old time. I enjoyed a bottle of their finest Miller Lite. And what did we have? A couple of appetizers, and then we split a chicken salad. And so I give the waitress, very nice young lady, the waitress, my credit card. She comes back a few minutes later. She's like, "Oh my God, are you from Valparaiso?" I said, "You mean the farm fields of Valparaiso?" I said, "Yes, we are from Valparaiso." She said, "My mom and dad are John and Vicky," and then their last name. And I was like, oh my goodness, what a small world. So John and Vicky, they were home builders for many, many years back in the early part of my career. And then he transitioned after the great financial crash, the recession, and went from home building. He was already an electrician by trade, and now he's in the local electricians union. So what a small world. All the way in New Buffalo, Michigan, we have some connection to former good friends of ours back in the Northwest Indiana. So that's a long story for telling you what is happening in the markets for us and this portfolio. And it looks like we're having a good day. We did have a good day today. We're up $51,545. So that puts the week at what? The week is 39,000. So it's been a very schizophrenic week, as you can see. Some highs, some lows, and back up and ended up with some nice highs. So I'll take that all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. I just went off the board, but I am having my TMF position called away today, which is exactly what we wanted. It actually made me nervous yesterday because TMF was under the strike price, and I thought, man, come on, go ahead and take it. I want some extra cash, some dry powder, some more cash earning 5%. So that's what we got. We ended up having 2,000 shares called away at $58. I did the math already. Beep, boop, boop. You know, I like to have these little notes. Look at that handwriting. The little notes. So I have on here that I ended up, it was a 17-day trade this time around with TMF, because I did just finish a TMF trade a couple of weeks ago. And went few days later, I re-entered. I've been in this trade for 17 days, made $5,000 on a $116,000 investment. So the annualized position after divided by 17 days and annualizing 365 is 92.5% annualized. That's my Fantasyland math. So I'm sticking to it. And what have I done since we talked? Well, on Wednesday, I did buy 1,000 shares of AGQ to add to the pile. I actually bought 2,000 shares at $36.90. And then, of course, the hardest thing to do in this business is to buy on the way down. But we did. We ended up buying another tranche yesterday while I was sitting at lunch. Actually, we were sitting at the bar waiting for a table, and I bought 1,000 shares of AGQ at 35.59. So now our particular position on the AGQ looks a little something like this. Hit it. Pull that up. We're up to 9,000 shares, so that's a lot. And again, AGQ is an ETF that is bullish on silver. So now our average position is 33.70. And when it was at what? Where's that note? It was at 32.32. But since that time, I have added 3,000 shares. I'm going to actually track that 3,000 shares. Well, we'll see. But my plan is to track those 3,000 shares differently than the original position. I may keep them separately in a spreadsheet. I think the 6,000 shares, that's our foundational position that I probably won't be moving off of anytime soon unless something crazy happens in the market, because we are uber bullish on the silver. So right now our position is up over 12% at $37,224. So we like that. We've got that going for us. Oil, let's look at the oil chart. Let's go through each chart individually, that just in the order that they're up, because they're not in the typical order. But I do have silver up here. We looked at this on Wednesday, and that's when I added this white language. It was Wednesday morning when I said hold 29 and pivot equals ultra bullish. And it did break through 29, but it certainly held and had a major nice movement back to the north, a bounce that we wanted to see. Now, kind of wanted to see this taken out. It would have been great to see it taken out today, which would have been like a 29.95. We didn't get there. Currently at 29.81. So we're not, I mean, it could happen at any moment, really, but it is a nice move through here. So far, so good. But I'm on my toes right now on pretty much everything, just because things feel interesting, geopolitical, etc. Looking back on history, we would think that a rate cut would be great, but typically, if you look at the last handful of our major retracements, like in the dot-com bust of 2000, in the mortgage-backed securities bust, which then dragged the economy down in 2008/2009. If you look through those, you'll see that rate cuts happened and then the market began to sell off. So got to keep our eyes and our toes ready and agile. Oh gosh, look at this. Oh golly. So here's Bitcoin. We put this in earlier. We talked about it, I think, on Monday and Wednesday. The trend lines, and what I was trying to see just for my own good was where were we going to get the breakout, and that has now been answered. We've had a beautiful breakout from the upper trend line. So now, and this target's been up there for a while. If you've been watching the videos, follow along with the Bitcoin, that's been up there. So I'm not changing that until we get through it. But we are looking really good at getting up to the $65,000 target. We put this safety dance in here to hold 57,000. I think we put that in either Friday or Monday, and we didn't even get nervous. We did not even get nervous. And now we have this breakout. We'll pull those trend lines off and then just kind of reconfigure what our strategy is going forward. But it's looking favorable in the Bitcoin still, which we've been talking about that since I started talking about the Bitcoin, is that this year to me looks amazing for Bitcoin going forward. USO, I was very nervous about the other day because I was looking at, is this an ABC, which I'm fine with? A, B, and C, or were we going to see 5 down here, which you can easily count 5 waves down? But to confirm that, we would need to see a corrective ABC, which would have been A. And this could, I mean, these the measurement of these waves would not, it doesn't work like this according to Elliott wave theory and Fibonacci. But we've had essentially a 3-wave move which we would prefer to see a 5-wave move, but we have a beautiful gap between these two as well. So hold on, I got an intruder into the Fortress of Solitude Studios. My son. Kid 3 Bart the second, aka Deuce, wanted to talk about him and his buddies having a bonfire at the house tonight. So the preliminary answer is yes, but I want to know the extent of this bonfire. Like, how many people we're talking about? Handful of your buddies, no problem. Handful of your buddies, maybe a couple of the girly friends, no problem. Anything beyond people I know, kids I know, the answer is no. So sorry. That's just how I roll. That's how I roll. It's called the wet blanket parenting. So I let things ride in oil because it still looks like, I mean, this was a very nice move, because what I would have anticipated is, okay, if this was going to be 5 down, and then a corrective would have been, an A, a deeper B, and then a C, and then maybe continued with 5 more waves down. Thankfully, we have not seen that yet. So this move right here gives me some good feelings of life coming off the canvas and making, finally, maybe realizing the moves that I thought would have taken place at least 30 days ago. But this is still in play here. In fact, let's extend that son of a gun. Can we extend it? Whoa. We could crookedly extend it. Let's go right there with the 77.77-ish spot on the US and the O. So we'll keep an eye on that. I got the Dixie up here just because I was looking at, I took it off there, didn't I? I was looking at just the major trend lines, and what I was finding is that we were approaching a big time moving average, meaning like years worth of a moving average. And we had been trading above it for quite a while in the dollar and the Dixie. So I was getting a little nervous, but it never did get to that number. It came real close. What did I want to see up here? That I don't even know if it was up here. These shows, your videos are great, Bart. They really are. Yeah, I mean, gold. Actually, can we pull gold up without crashing the system here? Because for some reason, TradingView and this Vidyard software that I use to do these screen recordings, they just don't get along very well. But let's look at the gold. Black gold Texas tea. Now let's look at actual gold, because we did revisit the exact number that I brought up on Wednesday. And I'll refresh our memories when I go to that chart. Come on, TradingView, you can do it. I have faith. Anyways, 26 years of marital bliss. Is it all blissful? Of course not. Anyone that tells you that they could be married 26 years and everything is roses is a lying. But I will tell you this, I don't know, 98.2% has been blissful. But we're very much alike in certain respects, and then we're polar opposites in others. And in those polar opposites seem to complement each other well. So that has been a godsend for me and my lady friend. And just lately, like the last several years, we've been like on the same page big time. Yeah. Because, I told you what I did. I dragged her into a lot of stressful things back when I was getting my real estate career off the ground. I bought a rental property without telling her, just because it sounds horrible. But the very first one I bought, I did it without telling her, just because I knew she wasn't ready yet. And I'm more of a ready, fire, aim guy. So I just went ahead and fired. And we actually still have that very same rental that I bought, I don't know, 21 years ago. and then stacked a bunch on top of it since. Added the Dairy Queen, sold the Dairy Queen, sold off a bunch of rental properties. We were building houses. We had a real estate brokerage for many years. Many years. Oh, man, just all kinds of stuff that I dragged her through. But she put up with it. Not only did she put up with it, is she ended up being a more integral part in all of it than I am, because I really have very few skill sets and she has many. And I think the other big thing we have going is that, and it's an easy blanket statement for me to make, but it's something that you need to think about in all of your relationship choices. Can't get this darn thing to move. And we each, my lady and I, we have each other's backs, period. Whether it's with the kids, family members, whatever, anything we've ever done in business, with our real estate team, with clients, etc. We have each other's backs, period. And we did say, even before the kids were born, that her and I and our marriage is first. The kids are the byproduct of that marriage and this relationship. So let's never lose sight of that. So just a couple of thoughts on being married this long and having this successful of a marriage. Because I would put, this sounds braggadocious. No, it's just a reality. I think we are more enlightened than most people. That's braggy too. But I've spent many years reaching that enlightenment through consistent personal development. And that is, I come basically from kind of a anxious, fearful, maybe not always incredibly confident background. And I've worked on that. And then in doing so, applied tactics and actual activities that have lined up directly with the life goals that we've had. And that none of that is easy. None of it. It's kind of like buying when things are going down. But just taking a quick look at the gold chart. I mentioned this the other day that it had made beautiful movements through here, super bullish, got up here. And then I was like, well, now I think we shouldn't get anywhere further down from this 2484, which was on the board for a long time. As I had said, if we get to 2484, we're definitely rocketing right up to 2525. And we got right up to like 2530, came back. We did dip below this line, but it was so temporary. And then we've bounced right back up, and gold's still looking extremely bullish. So that is some of the thoughts that I have. So as I tell my children from the time they're young, the two most important decisions you will make in your life is who you're going to spend it with, aka your spouse, your better half, your other half, your partner. It extends to also your friends. Your circle of friends have a lot to do with your attitude and your health, physical health, mental health, financial health, because we do emulate those that we're around. We are pack animals. The other major decision is what you're going to do for a living. This is the United States of America, and most all the countries I know of require a certain amount of capital in order to live the good life. And as we all know, money rule number one is that money solves all of your money problems. So what you do for a living and who you choose to spend your life with, the two most important decisions that you can make. I hope you make the right ones. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you wish me a happy anniversary in the comments below. Tell me if you are indeed married, how long you have been married, and what has worked well in your relationships. Like, subscribe, comment, share with a lovable friend, and I will see you in the next video.